Okay, and welcome to the new Topdown Charts Substack account. So, I just wanted to do a quick video here to walk you through what I've launched here and why it should be interesting. So, when you click to topdowncharts.substack.com, you'll be presented with something that probably looks like this. I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at a few of these things. We'll have a look at what is the weekly insights report, but I'll highlight here that there are a few pretty good resources that you should have a look at if you're interested in this. So how does the Substack service differ from the institutional service, and I'll talk about that in a second. Also got an article here addressing the track record, and a little bit on the quarterly strategy pack as well, because you can actually opt for a higher paying membership, which includes the quarterly strategy pack and the quarterly call. Also worth having a look here is what is the Top-Down Charts Weekly Insights. So yeah, let's have a look at this first. So I guess probably this one is the first place to have a look at. What is the Weekly Insights Report? So this Top-Down Charts Substack service is built around the Weekly Insights Report. It's this one here, so I'll let you have a sneak peek at the edition 3 here. Basically what I do is give you some of the key points, key findings from the full service. So for example, here we've got global value versus growth, the key takeaway there, and the sort of bullet points on the findings there. You can see similar thing for defensive value, safe haven, FX, gold. Then also outline some of the notable price developments across global markets. So talking here about global equity, breadth there, what's going on in emerging Asia, US dollar, commodities. We'll talk a bit about sentiment, where sentiment positioning is sitting, just the most notable things, and any market themes of note as well. So that's it's a good way to just keep tabs with what's going on in, across global markets. And then I also highlight what's on my radar in terms of macro and markets, and also my research agenda for the week ahead. And then, of course, we have a selection of charts with a bit of context, commentary, and the key so what behind the chart. So yeah, we can see some very interesting charts this week. Some pretty interesting topics this week. And then at the end of it, of course, is this ideas inventory, which is basically just keeping track of all the different ideas that I'm running at any certain point. And then, of course, the subscribe now button, and we'll get back to that, but I'll click on to that at the moment, just to have it. We'll go back and have a look at that in a second. But this is, I think, quite important, just looking at why I decided to do this. So I'll read this out, actually. My research business, Top-Down Charts, is focused on providing independent investment research to institutional investors. So we're talking pension companies, hedge funds, family offices, investment advisors, fund managers, etc. But for quite some time, I've had a number of requests from people who either are not in that category or who are in that space, but they either lack the budget for the full service, or they simply lack the bandwidth to consume the full service. And as you saw there, we kind of went through that report pretty quickly, so it's quite easy to consume, and so it just goes to that bandwidth part. So my intent here is to create something that condenses down what I do with the full service to provide a still very highly useful entry-level service for people who are time poor, so they just want the key points, or they don't actually need all of the fine details, but they don't want to miss any emerging themes and ideas, or don't have the institutional budget, and who want a selection of charts that capture critical issues, but also want the context, the so what. So it's a condensed down version, or an entree version. So yeah, what you get from it, you get the Weekly Insights Report, which we just showed you. You also get full access to the report archives, so all the previous editions of that. You get the ability to post comments and questions, which could be quite useful. And so, why? What's all the benefit of that? Well, you get onto some very interesting emerging risks and opportunities. So, tackling both sides of the equation there. So that, could be on the opportunity side, this market's breaking out, and, that's relevant because the valuation macro cyclical setup is particularly good. For instance, just flagging opportunities there. And on the risk side, could be here's a near impressing risk that's coming right onto the horizon now that you don't want to miss. The other thing is stay informed on meaningful macro themes and trends. So I do cover a good mix of risks, ideas, but also sort of wider context. And I only ever talk about macro insofar as it's useful to actually managing money. And then access exclusive charts with a clear so what, so that you're just expanding your understanding and keeping tabs of what's going on. You're making sure that you don't miss anything. That's basically it, I think. And in terms of the what's next, basically, if you click the subscribe button, I think most pages say have a subscribe now button. It'll bring you to this page here, and you just select whatever option you think makes sense. The free option doesn't really get you anything. The only articles that are free are the sample editions and all the collateral, so notes about track record and things like that. The annual or monthly is getting you the basic service, which is the weekly insights report. That's the key stuff of it, and also those benefits that I just talked about. And then I've got this option here that says add quarterly report, and that gives you access to the quarterly report. If you want to read more about that, I'll let you read more about it in your own time, but you can click onto this here and it tells you a bit about what's in that. You also get to join the quarterly call. Can be an interesting option, but I'll leave that for you to have a look at. But yeah, in terms of subscription plan, it's either $20 a month or $195 a year. Clearly, you're saving money if you go for the annual option. So, yep, basically pretty straightforward, really. Why don't you take a look? I will note here, if you look here, you can see edition 1, so that's been unlocked, so is edition 2, so you can actually read those and get a good look at what we look at in the weekly report here. And you can also look at the track record article there, which will give you a bit of insight into that. You can have a look at this one here. How does it differ from the institutional service? So that kind of gives you a good glimpse at what we're doing on the full service there. And that's basically it. I am going to add another article soon on my research process and philosophy, but for now I think that you've probably got all the stuff here to make a decision. So yeah, why don't you jump on, have a look, and sign up if it makes sense. If not, either way, open to feedback, so definitely let me know what you think.